Yo, I want y'all niggas to see me very clearly on this video, man. Still bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game, though. We got to talk about this nigga Kenny Porter, man. I've been arguing with niggas about this all weekend, man. And the more and more I talk about it, the madder and madder I get. First off, if you cannot separate your son from being a fighter and a gladiator, a modern day gladiator in the Roman Coliseum, you don't need to be training him. This is the hurt business. It's the nature of the business, man. Your son is gonna get hit. Your son's gonna get hurt. That's just what it is, man. If you can't handle that, then you need to just remove yourself from his career. Not his career, but just the authoritative position you have over him. You just do. You just do. That was a very premature stoppage. That was a premature stoppage. Sean Porter was never hurt to the degree of which, like Jose Benavidez was, or Igor Cavaliasquez was. Or Kell Brook. He wasn't hurt like that. He got dropped a couple of times. Both times he was dropped was due to him being overly aggressive and overshooting on the, and lunging in. He got dropped. He hit the mat, pounded on the mat out of frustration. He wasn't hurt. When he got up, it wasn't like he was weebly wobbly on his legs. His eyes wasn't rolling over in the back of his head every time, a precise shot would land. It was none of that. It wasn't like he didn't have the inability to defend himself. It was none of that. It was none of that. He was just getting, Bud is a precise puncher. He's a sharp counter puncher. And Sean Porter fell victim to his counter punching. He got punished for overshooting. He got punished for it. He was not hurt. As overjoyed as I am that Bud won that fight and how he won that fight, I'm irritated that Kenny Porter stopped the fight. I'm real irritated about that. Sean has never been in a position where he's looking just completely out of it. So he can't defend himself. He's off balance. Punches are splitting the guard and still finding a way to, finding their way home. It was none of that. It was none of that. Oh, damn. It was none of that. He was aggressive. Even after, he got up the second time, he was aggressive. He pressed the action. He got his bearings back and went right back to work. You don't stop the fight because you don't like where the fight is going. You don't know what could have. If fights were stopped because the coach didn't like where the fight was going, we wouldn't have some of the greatest knockouts that we've had. There'd be no Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. We wouldn't have that. We would not have that. We wouldn't have the wars that we had with Manny Pacquiao and Marquez. Marquez got dropped 3 times in the first round with Manny Pacquiao. He has earned that right to not. I don't want to. People are getting confused by me saying the fight was premature. Like I wanted him to just go in there and just get a beating. No. There's levels to stoppages. There's levels to it. Deontay Wilder is an extreme level. I never want any fighter to go through any shit like that. But it's a point in the fight where you can say, all right, cool, you walk in that fine line right here. If you don't start defending yourself, I'm stopping. I'm not saying go in there and just get your brains beat in. I'm not saying that. But you're gonna get, give off body language as to, all right, man, this punishment is becoming too insurmountable for me to be able to deal with. That's when you jump in and you stop it. Someone can't keep their balance. That's when you jump. It doesn't even have to get to the point where every shot that you're getting hit with, your eyes are rolling in the back of your head. No. If you're getting hit too many times and the punches are splitting your guard and you just can't keep your balance, that's when you stop it. Sean Porter was up on his feet, ready to rock out after the second knockdown. And he jumped in and stopped the fight. Kenny Porter needs to be fired. And I feel like this. I really feel like this. Shawn Porter retired so he doesn't have to fire his daddy. This dude has entirely too much control over his career and just certain say-so in his life. I don't live across the street from my pops. I don't. It was a point in time when my pops had, he felt he could do and say shit to me because I was his son. Eventually you gotta say, nah, fuck all that. And you have to stand 10 toes down. You have to. You can still command a high level of respect for your child without being that overbearing ass, rule with an iron fist type nigga. You eventually have to stand on your manhood. Your ideologies. And Shawn Porter, I don't think is at a point in his life where he's ready to do that. How dare you sit here? You stop the fight. Now, granted, Shawn Porter, Bud was up, 2 rounds? I think he was up 2 rounds. So it wasn't like it was a 9-3 bout or nothing like that. Nah. I don't think he was up that big. He was up. Most definitely up. And he could have damn well stopped him in that. Come on, man. You was doing way too much, stupid nigga. God damn, I can't stand reckless ass driving ass niggas. But he could have damn well stopped him in that round. He could have. But Porter could have also survived that round. And got out of that round and went on to the 11th. And the 12th. He could have got out of that round, but he could have got stopped as well. What I'm saying is he didn't look like he was ready to be stopped in that moment. How dare you berate this dude talking about lack of preparation? That was a great game plan that y'all had. Bud is just better. It's just as simple as that. Bud is better. No fighter that Bud has faced thus far has won that many rounds against Terrence Crawford. Porter won 4, maybe 5 rounds. He did. That was a damn good fight. That was a great fight. It was a great game plan by Shawn Porter. I figured it would go like how it went. He's going to willingly engage that man in the exchanges early on. He's going to get caught. Porter was closing distance easily. He was closing distance easily early on. He was outspeeding him. He knew his range. He knew where he could get in, where he had to be to get to close distance fast enough to get in and land a shot and stay on him. And Bud early on, not necessarily uncomfortable. He wasn't uncomfortable in the pocket, but he just had to get used to the dude's timing. He had to get used to how he fought on the inside. He had to. And once he did that, he established distance. And he got Porter to a point where he couldn't get past the jab. He couldn't get past he started timing him coming in. And he was getting hit clean. That gets irritating after a while. Those adjustments on the fly. He was doing that. And that led to Porter getting a little frustrated and lunging in. I said it would go like that. But that was a damn good fight. And that was a damn good game plan concocted. So how dare you sit here and talk about it was due to preparation. That was a very good fight. I don't get how people can just be, it's real. That's narcissistic as hell, bro. That was your game plan. But now it's his fault because he couldn't execute the game plan to your liking. No. Hell no. Porter did a damn good job in that ring. And this is not how you retire. If he was gonna retire, then that's when you go out on your shield. Cause you hanging him up after this. I'm not a fan of that go out on your shield shit. I'm not. This is a dangerous sport that we in. But that's not how you retire. And I'm guaranteed, even Sean Porter looking down, it's a difference between disappointing and you losing the fight and you being like, oh my God, I really want to. I guarantee you he has talked to his wife about Kenny Porter. He won't get on camera and run down Kenny Porter, but I guarantee you he's talked to his wife about Kenny Porter. I highly doubt he'll say anything on the Porter way about Kenny Porter. I guarantee you he won't. He has that much respect for his daddy. And it's so much respect that he can kind of domineer over him. And he doesn't want to fracture that relationship with his father that I'll risk looking like a fool. That's how I was growing up. You did, like, it was shit that I did. I didn't want to be in church. My mom and pops are disciplined Christians. They're disciplined Christians. I grew up in church. I did. But the neighborhood I grew up in, it wasn't the wildest neighborhood up here, man. But my niggas on my block was into some wild shit. That's who my energy was gravitating towards. I'm not a church boy. You're not about to sit here and play me with that. You're not. Everybody in my church expected me to kind of take the mantle with my mom and pops. No, that's not me. But they would do so. They would expect me to be a certain type of way. And because I didn't want to, and my mom and pops seek validation within that church. So it was certain shit that I wouldn't do because I couldn't bring them home good grades. In school, it was, water and vinegar. We didn't mix. I couldn't bring them home good grades. And they, and that church, that kind of, raised just stock. I couldn't bring that to them. I'm kicking it with gangbangers. I'm trying to get put on. And they're mad at me for doing that. And hey, yo, man, just y'all want me to be a certain, so this isn't me. This isn't me at all. So what do? I kicking it with a certain amount of people or with a certain type of crowd. I can't bring y'all home good grades. The least I can do is be as obedient as I can possibly be. Which led to me being embarrassed a lot. It led to me being embarrassed. They didn't want me out past the street lights. They didn't want me out. I'll just bite my tongue and go in the house as mad as I would be. Just go in the house. I didn't run. My brother was a wild dude. My brother was doing all the running away. I've never been arrested. My brother was doing a lot of shit. I didn't. I've never been arrested a day in my life. That shit has never been cute to me. But it was a lot of shit that they did that okay. I can at least do that for y'all. I can at least do that. I can at least be obedient. I can at least do, go in the opposite direction of my brother or my sister, because my sister was by the time she hit college, she was getting really rebellious. The least I can do is be obedient, because y'all, in my church, they didn't perceive, oh, yo, this is just a wild child right here. No, everything trickles down from the parents. If your child is fucking up, it's because of you as a parent. So I understood that. I didn't want them to be shown in a negative light, so I bit my tongue. I did a lot of shit that I didn't want to do. And I wasn't no wild dude. I just wanted to be on the block. I just wanted to be outside with my niggas. And they just did not want that. They found dice in my pocket with money. We getting up out of here. We leaving North Omaha. That's just what it is. But I wasn't no wild dude. But because they wanted me to be, they wanted to present me to their churches, this as a child of God, and a child of God from their paradigm, and what it means to them to be a child of God. And I just couldn't give them that. So the least I could do was be obedient. And it was a lot of shit that, going on and on, for years and years and years. My pops could just, he could bark, and I just kind of just bite my tongue, just because I want to be the obedient child. I don't want to come off as rebellious. I don't want to come off as nothing other than, all right, cool. and I'll just bite my tongue. But eventually you get to a point, you're like, nah, my nigga, that shit over with. That thing over with. No, fuck no. And you got to stand your ground. You have to. And once you do that, the relationship gets stronger because he recognizes I've raised a man. Kenny Porter is not ready to let go of Sean Porter being his child. Not his son, his child. And he said that my child was hurt. He's my child, not my fighter, my child, my kid. If that's any other fighter, do you throw the towel in for them? Fuck no. You have to get to a point with your pops where y'all have a mutual respect for one another as men. As men, you can have your father-son relationship. That's never gonna that's never gonna fail. But he is a man at the end of the day with kids of his own. He's married. I don't live across the street from my damn daddy. I don't. I do not live across the street from my pops. That's weird to me. That's weirdo shit. That is weird, dog. Like, come on, man. Nah, my nigga, no. Everybody keeps talking about him as, oh, he's a good father. Okay, cool, he's a great father. But he's his trainer. You can't go into a situation like that where this is your son and not your fighter. Because you will make egregious mistakes like you just did. And I guarantee if Sean Porter comes into his manhood, this situation is going to have a detrimental effect on their relationship. It's going to have a strain. It's going to have a strain. He retired, dog. That man didn't plan on retiring going into this fight. Now he's retiring. Sean Porter is still fresh. Sean Porter has a lot still to give to this division, to the sport. You mean he's younger than Bud, and he's retiring? Retiring. Bro. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be it's manifesting at this point in time. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong in a situation like this. However, you seen that man's mannerisms standing in that ring, and I know what that feels like. I know exactly what that feels like because I've been in a situation like that. You kind of cower because you don't want to show your pops in a negative light, and you don't want to do anything to deteriorate that relationship. You value the relationship with your pops, and you don't want to be the reason as to why y'all on bad terms. I know what that feels like. I know that look. I know that look. You looking down, I know that look. He's not gonna denigrate his dad in a interview online. That could get back to his pops and possibly fracture their relationship. I'm telling you, I know that look. His mannerism said everything. And why do I know that look? Because I've been in situations like that. I value the relationship with my parents. I value the relationship with my parents. I don't like getting into it with my homies. I'm a mild-mannered dude. That's just who I am. I will bite my tongue if it's a relationship that I value. I fuck with you. So because I fuck with you, I'm gonna bite my tongue. But just know you pissing me off. You pissing me the fuck off. Know that. And I may not be able to bite my tongue for long, but I'll do it as long as I possibly can. I'll do it as long as I possibly can. And to the point where I'm just like, hey, go, wherever it go, it go. I know that look. He's not gonna, everybody keeps tagging me in videos. Oh man, it's coming straight out the horse's mouth. It's coming straight out the horse's mouth. Sean Porter, he's not going to berate Kenny Porter in a fucking interview online. He thinks too highly of his pops. He thinks too highly of his pops. He's not going to do that online. He's already making excuses talking about I was more hurt against Earl Spence than I was with, but no you wasn't. No, you wasn't. There's no way. There's no way you could receive 2 knockdowns like that and not be hurt more than, no. There's no fucking way. No fucking way. He's coming up with any and every alternative to justify what his daddy did. I'm telling you, he's not going to berate his pops in the public. It will probably take him years to come out and really say how he feels against his pops. How hurt and disappointed he is for his pops doing what he did. Even in training, bro, it's how you're not doing what I want you to do. I want you to do this. On one hand, that is good coaching. That's good coaching on one hand. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. On one hand, it's good coaching. On another hand, it's domineering. You my son. You do what the fuck I tell you to do. That's what that is. I know that energy. From Kenny Porter to Sean Porter. I know those mannerisms from Sean Porter. I'm telling you, he is in a space right now where it's bubbling like, all right, bro, like, I don't want to say nothing, but I'm really feeling some type of way about what you did. I know that energy. He just doesn't want to strain the relationship with his pops. I'm telling you. There's nobody who can tell me opposite. Because I've been there. I've been in that scenario before. You cannot tell me that he is A-okay with that shit happening to him. You can't do it. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. Parents do not want to let their kids grow up and become men and women. I understand that. From being in that position. You don't tell me what to do. You know, just your energy and your presence over there is still your energy and your presence and kind of just like broken up at them alone. That's enough to put your child back in a submissive state. To where, man, that's my dad or that's my mother. I know that energy. I'm doing everything I can do tonight to make sure that I won't be a part of that. I won't be like that with mine. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that that shit doesn't happen with me. Your child is going to grow up and formulate their own ideologies. And just with it, you know, their values. You can structure their values as best as you possibly can. To the point where a lot of their mannerisms and their actions are a reflection of you and how you raised them. They love and appreciate what it is that you taught them how to be a man or a woman if you're a mother. That's what I want. That's what I want for my babies. I don't want to be that overbearing dad who's just involved in every bit of their affairs. No. I know that energy that Sean Porter is giving off. And I know that energy that Kenny Porter is giving off. I do. And I'm willing to bet Sean Porter, he'd rather retire and cut his career short, a career that is still accomplishments for Sean Porter to achieve. He'd rather cut his career short than fire his daddy.